All right, guys. So I have Gary Gibbons here with me today talking about expansions for Padshop and in general. And also specifically, I'm looking at Doomstrophic expansion for Padshop 2. So let's get started with a little bit of introduction, Gary. Why don't you just, tell a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name's Gary Gibbons, and I'm residing in Hong Kong. I own Online Music Foundry, and I opened it in 2016. And I started making expansions for Padshop Pro. And then when Padshop 2 came out, I started making expansions for that. So far, I've produced at Online Music Foundry 21 expansions for Padshop.
Oh, amazing. I didn't know that. I went through, some of the stuff. I didn't count it, but that's quite a lot.
Well, what happened was when Padshop 2 came out, I decided to discontinue the Padshop Pro expansions. So, right now I have 4 Padshop 2 expansions.
Maybe for for my audience, it would be interesting to learn just a bit about the sort of mechanics behind the scenes of creating expansions for synthesizers such as Padshop.
Well, I think an interesting tidbit about my journey with Padshop is that when I upgraded to Cubase 6.5, I believe that's when Padshop Pro was released. And I thought it was interesting because I really didn't use it for pad sounds. I kind of approached it as a sampler. And I thought it was really interesting to learn about granular synthesis and, and what you could do with it. But of course, the limitation of Padshop is the fact that you can only have 2 samples loaded. It's not like a typical sampler in that respect. So what happened was, I find this really crazy, that I noticed that Steinberg had like a third-party guy that was German, Simon Stockenhauser, and he released granular symphonies and granular guitars. And I discovered that he had his own website as well, that he sold his own expansions. So I went to his website and checked out, what he was doing, and checked out his documentation, and realized that I could do that as well. So I thought, I would give it a try. So what's pretty funny is that I decided for some weird reason to sample a frame drum and see how many sounds I can make with Padshop Pro with a frame drum. And then I realized with short greens, I could make pads and different synths and different odd sounds. So I ended up making an expansion called Granular Frame Drums. And after making it, I thought, well, I'm going to make a company and see how this goes. So that's basically how I started. And I was totally inspired by Simon. And I thought maybe one day I could have my expansions on Steinberg's site. And from 2016 until now, I have expansions on Steinberg's site. So I'm really, really satisfied with that.
Great. So I will pause here and say, guys, go to Online Music Foundry. I'll put the links. And also in the official Steinberg website, you can find the expansions, and they are great. So check them out. Let's continue. So
awesome.
Yeah, so maybe let's talk a little bit about the recent release, Doomstrophic. Maybe just a bit of a background about this, about the sounds.
Okay. Well, at Online Music Foundry, I have in the past started working with an Italian sound designer, and his name's Marco Giardina. And he's released some expansions for Padshop Pro at Online Music Foundry. And so there was a pack that he produced that I worked with him on called Granular Monster Drone. And what happened was he made his own DIY instrument that had cello strings and had like a biscuit tin box, and he amplified it and recorded samples from that. So since then, we've discontinued that pack since Padshop 2 came out.
Right.
So with some of those samples and some new samples, we started creating a new expansion pack together, which in the end became Doomstrophic. And so what happened was I was manipulating sounds with his old samples, and then I started sampling different orchestral strings and brass instruments and resynthesizing them with Padshop 2. So then that made Doomstrophic, by using those samples. And Doomstrophic is overall kind of like a dark cinematic pack. But what is really unique about it is that when I discovered how to program string sounds and make arpeggiated string sounds, I discovered that I could, in the Padshop 2 realm, I could make sounds that was similar to like the orchestra by Sonia Score, or I also started sampling some of my cinematic drums that I have in my library, and I was able to make arpeggiated drum patterns like action strikes. So Doomstrophic became a real cinematic pack with arpeggiated phrases, and it really took the Padshop 2 realm to a different level. And I'm really happy with the results because just by using this expansion, you can make trailer music, dark cinematic music, epic music, but at the same time, use some of the sounds for other genres.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have to admit, I didn't go through all 725 presets yet, but many of them. And I found so many, sounds that are, just general purpose, just sounds great on anything. So I just want to say don't be fooled by, by the name Doomstrophic. The range of applications and, the sounds is very wide. I mean, it goes from even quiet and very delicate sounds, strings, as you said, keyboard, and anything in between up to very loud and very, epic sound. So
what I like to do is like for Doomstrophic, I've made a lot of materials for it, a lot of content. I've had like Dom Segalis, he made a composition for it. So like you can go to the Online Music Foundry's website, or you can go to SoundCloud and search for Doomstrophic. And there's a playlist on there, and there's many composers from around the world that's already composed music for it. And I just published an audio book with sounds from Doomstrophic. So I'm also going to release 3 more audiobooks using just the sound. So if users want to learn more about it, there's a lot of ways for them to hear content.
Amazing. So I'm going to put all the links in the description of this video and anywhere else, where it fits. Yeah, I think I think we got it. So
Awesome.
I'm really excited, to meet you in person again, and I hope to, to have the chance and chat with you again about music and stuff. And I'll see you online, I guess, because we were circling in the same groups. And
True.
just for the viewers, Gary is very accessible. If you have questions in the groups in Facebook, I mean, it's really I mean, you, I find it very inspiring and very refreshing to see creators like you, and there are some others that are just so accessible and they are out there. They're not distancing themselves from from the crowd, and so it's really a different kind of experience where people online in Facebook can interact with the creators of of the tools they use.
I agree. I find that Facebook has allowed me to connect with users, and if someone's interested, I can. I'm willing to teach them how to use Padshop 2 or Padshop Pro. I'm willing to share my knowledge that I've acquired over the years, and I find it a great way to inform people and connect with people. I believe that this is how social media can really be used. And I think it's really important that it's used this way because, like Padshop Pro, for many years when it came out, it wasn't that popular.
Right.
And I noticed that there wasn't really anybody else that was doing what I was doing that kept it up. And in the long run, it worked out really well for me. And I, I've made tutorials for Steinberg for their VST channel, and I really enjoy that. And I enjoy that I can teach people and also inform them of how powerful Padshop 2 can be for them. So I think it's great for other users, other developers that are doing this approach, because people really appreciate that kind of connection, I think.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, and I'll see you online.
Okay, see you later.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.